Hello everyone and welcome back. So in this part we're going to work on the mouth portion of the rig. And you may notice that I have a few more controls here than last time, and that's because when something must have happened, but I didn't save my file, so I had to redo it. So I thought I'd redo it with some different controls, but I taught you how to make shape keys and how to apply them to control bones, so that shouldn't be too difficult for you if you like to replicate what I have. Basically, I added some shapes for the eyelids to go, or the center of the eyelids to go down, or eyebrows, to go up and down. This gives him the confused look, while this just brings it down. So what we want to do is, this bone right here controls the rotation of the mouth. What we want to do is we want to make a bone that will control some of the shape keys of the mouth and also rotate it around. So what we want to do is you want to Shift D, duplicate this bone, go to individual origins on period, and let me hit R for rotate. And then you want to hit Shift D, then G, Y, and G, Z. Attempt to line it up with that Z axis as much as possible, or that Y axis. And now what we want to do is we want to parent this bone to the head, and it already is. We want to parent this bone to this bone. So now that we have that, we're actually going to rotate this bone till it stands upright. Oh, we're in pose mode, so let's do that in edit mode. We're going to move it here, and whoops, we're going to move it here in edit mode. And then next, we're going to add a new constraint, where it's not a new to Blender, but a new to this tutorial, called the transformation constraint. So Control Shift C, transformation. We're going to change this to local space, change the owner to local space, change the extrapolate ranges to check. And so we want the X translation, so the X location mapped to the Z rotation of this bone. So before we do that though, before we get too deep into it, let's call this main mouth CTRL. And then we'll call this
folks, it's time to kick it
mouth rotation
so you can feel cool.
TGT for target. And we'll call this mouth rotation ORG. So now what we do in our modifiers here is we go and we need to add a maximum and minimum. So let's just try 100, and we're going to, right, so we need the X rotation to affect the Z rotation, the X location to affect the Z rotation, so we're going to make that X. For the location, type -1 for the maximum, and for the rotation, type 180 degrees. So that gets us what we want. However, right, so for this bone we have to turn back on inherent rotation. If this bone, keep it off. Actually, we may be able to keep it on. No, keep it off for now. There it is. There we go. So now we have our mouth, our main mouth control moving the mouth. So now let's make a shape to represent the mouth for this bone. And you know how to do that, so I'm going to time lapse through that. Now we're going to go to the mouth here and put the drivers associated with this shape onto it. So those drivers include the mouth O, open, closed, and I think that's it. We're gonna add some different. Well, we might add some new mouth shapes in here. We might not. I think these are actually good enough, but we might add a couple more just to add some more variety. The mouth O will be scaled on the x-axis. The mouth close will be scaled on the y-axis. And the mouth open will also be scaled on the y-axis. And when I say that, I mean the y-axis as it pertains to the relative axes of the bone. So now that we've made all the shapes, or now that we've connected all the shape keys to the main mouth that this particular bone will control, let's add the other bones to map the shape keys to. So I grab these bones here, make sure to rotate them so that they have the same position as this bone. And this time we're definitely going to have one here. Now that we have all the bones named, we're going to get rid of their control shapes after we rotate them properly and move them in their proper locations. Good. Now we're going to get rid of their control shapes. Okay. Now that we've done that, we're going to add control shapes of our own. And you know how to do that, so I will time lapse through that.
got yourself something funky.
And there you have it, folks. So we have now made the control shapes and we parented those control shapes to the main mouth control, so now they move along with it. Now all we have to do is map the shape keys to the appropriate mouth controls. So the smile will be mapped to the corner, and it's a up motion. So let's see here. That'll be the down one. That'll be this one. And then frown will be okay. So let's go smile, add driver.
What we do here is go back.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
So now that we have all of the shape keys mapped properly to the bones, we're going to add a couple of more shapes to give us just a slightly more control over what Sonic can say and do. So the first shape we're going to add is the M shape. And we're basically take these bottom faces and exclude the top faces. Basically rotate them with proportional editing on. We're going to basically rotate them inward, kind of like his lips are rolling in, kind of like that. And then we're going to take this very same edge loop and deselect the bottom and do the same thing. And then edit them to the proper shape of a mouth again. Okay, and then you maybe even want to rotate these to kind of flatten them out. There we go. So we can map this to this bone's Z location. So we have that. We also want to add a neutral mouth corner just going up on both sides. Let's actually delete this one. So in this, we're just going to grab these, force no editing, and move them up. Move them out. Probably give it a bit of a rotation. And there we go. We're going to new shape from mix, and then mirror the shape key, and then we're gonna call this corner up .l, and then we'll control C, control V. And then we're gonna add a new bone. It's a bit smaller. And we're gonna call this mouth corner secondary. And now let's map the controls to the shape key, or let's map the shape key to the control. So now, when we close his mouth, we can more easily add this shape key on top of this shape key if you'd want to. So do the same thing for the frown. Or the mouth down. Duplicate the shape, mirror it, add the drivers, and there we go, guys. So we now have a complete Sonic face rig. So for these two bones, we're not going to use them, so we're going to move them to the deform layer over here. And the only other thing to do for the face rig would be to add some bone controls for the eyes here. And you see there's some issues with the shrink wrap modifier. So we will tackle that in the next video. But you know, he's basically, I mean, he's getting very close to being done, guys. You know, like, he can speak now, you know, he can talk. Now I will add some more mouth shapes off camera, just because there's so many that you can add, but I've given you more than enough tools, I feel, to make your own control shape rig, you know, without having too much difficulty without me. But if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. But I mean, you know, we can do everything with this rig now, aside from the eyes, which we're fixing. We're going to work on that. So but thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel for more tutorials, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.